Batman. Just the pussy I've been looking for. Yeah. I'm Batman.
Hi everyone, how you doing? And welcome to the Film Archives. My name is Dennis and I break down movies here. Some good ones and some not so good ones. So that way you don't have to. If you like that kind of content, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button for more. Without further ado, let's answer the question. Was Batman Returns worth watching? Stick around and let's find out. The movie starts off, we get a shot of a young baby penguin, and he's, currently living with his aristocratic family. And I guess he's a bad baby because he keeps eating the cats.
You are no longer a cat. You are a bagel.
So his parents are like, yo, we can't keep buying cats. You gotta go, man. And, I think they're also a little bit ashamed of him because, they're rich, aristocratic folks. But they decide to abandon him and they take him and drop him into the river. And, they do this right in public, right in plain sight. Like, literally 2 seconds earlier, they said hello and Merry Christmas to another couple walking their baby, which I thought was kind of funny. But, they drop him into the river, and I guess this river leads to the sewer, which is pretty weird. But, he floats down there, and he is eventually found by a group of penguins who raise him. And honestly, the penguins are 10 out of 10 cuteness. So, they roll the intro credits. They're pretty cool. They're always pretty cool. But it's now 33 years later in Gotham City. They have a big Christmas tree. It's a Christmas tree lighting ceremony for the city. And they show that the penguin is lurking below in the sewers. And he's, watching and waiting. He's commiserating, kind of waiting for his moment to strike. Then we get a scene of a business meeting between the mayor and a man named Max Shreck, who is played by Christopher Walken.
Frankly, I cringe, Mr. Mayor.
He does an amazing job in this movie, but he's proposing an idea and he wants to build a new power plant for Gotham City. They briefly introduce Batman's love interest in this movie, Selina Kyle. She's played by Michelle Pfeiffer. It's one of her most iconic roles as Catwoman.
I am Catwoman. Hear me roar.
For the role of Catwoman, Michelle Pfeiffer actually trained at a kickboxing gym for 2 hours a day for like 6 months and, practiced like yoga and weightlifting. And she also spent like an additional 3 months training with the 12-foot bullwhip. It was pretty interesting, actually. Max's son shows up, and he kind of lets the mayor and Max know, hey, they're ready for you downstairs. The public and the news reporters are waiting. So, let's head down there to the Christmas tree lighting ceremony. So they head down there and, Max is kind of speaking briefly about how he's such a good guy and he wants to give back to the people of Gotham. During all of this, someone walks in with a giant Christmas gift and, the mayor's kind of like, that's a really nice touch, Max. And Max is confused. He's like, that's not my gift, and suddenly out pops a bunch of the Penguin's goons. And they start causing a ton of mayhem. It's such a funny scene, to be honest. You get a really big dude with a tiny little monkey on his shoulder, and he's just blasting at the crowd with a minigun. It's pretty bizarre, but it's pretty awesome, to be honest with you. So I guess the goons are there to capture Max Shreck, who tries to escape into the sewers. And he's underneath there, and we see the Penguin. He can talk and he can read, and we're not really sure how he knows these things since he was raised by penguins, and they definitely can't teach you those sort of things, but that's okay. That's okay. Danny DeVito is an awesome penguin.
Simple stuff that the good people of Gotham take for granted. I want to find out who I am.
The penguin proposes to Max that they should work together, and Max agrees. During all of this, the police are kind of like, yo, we need to signal the bat signal now. Then we go to a scene where Bruce is just kind of sitting in the dark for some reason. And he has giant mirrors that reflect this bat signal into his house, which is pretty obvious that he's Batman if you were to ever see these on his house. But that's okay. That's okay. Batman things, He shows up, he ain't having none of it, and he's just starts knocking heads in, and he definitely kills this guy right here. He commits at least 2 murders throughout this movie. He runs into Selina Kyle during all of this, who is being held hostage randomly, and, he saves her. Pretty cool little moment there. And eventually he stops all the thugs, and the police thank him, We now go back to Selina Kyle, and, she's returning home. She had to go home and feed her cats, and she's checking her answering machine messages, and she's got a few messages on there, and one of which is herself giving herself a reminder that she had to go back to the office to go get the Bruce Wayne files, and she needs these files to help Max prepare for his meeting with Bruce tomorrow. So she goes back to the office, and she kind of stumbles upon some hidden files and the actual plans for his power plant, which reveal that they're not going to provide power. They're actually going to siphon all the power from Gotham. They never mention what he's going to do with it all, but there's that. So Max walks in, and he kind of has discovered that she's found these hidden files, and he threatens to kill her, and it's some pretty tense conversation, and eventually he pushes her out the window trying to murder her. So she falls like 100 stories to her death. It's really brutal stuff. But I guess she doesn't die. All these cats come up and they start like licking her body. I guess for this scene, the producers had to put a bunch of tuna all over Michelle Pfeiffer's body to get the cats to come up and lick her, which I thought was super funny. But, she goes home. She starts losing her mind, She starts trashing her apartment and, ripping up all her clothes and stuff. It's really weird, but they're kind of, emphasizing her descent into becoming the Catwoman. There's a funny scene in here where she's like chugging milk and it gets all over the front of her shirt, but in every like cut of the scene, the milk is suddenly gone and disappears. But it's super dumb. But anyway, she makes her costume, and they kind of briefly show her as her becoming the femme fatale Catwoman. So the Penguin is now addressing the people, and he's kind of talking about how he's going to be the mayor and save the day. And they're doing this because the current mayor doesn't agree with Max's power plant idea. So they have the Penguin stage like a big riot with his gang. They want to save the day, so they look like heroes and get more people on board with voting. So the Penguin's gang starts a full-on riot. It's absolute madness. Of course, Batman shows up. He stops them using his awesome ninjutsu skills and his forbidden arts. Meanwhile, Catwoman is just kind of vandalizing one of Max's like department stores, and she's like setting it to blow up. Batman's fighting all the criminal scum, but then we also get Batman's kill number 2 of the movie. And then Batman runs into the Penguin, where they exchange some brief words before Catwoman interrupts them. And she does like 300 backflips over to them, which I don't think is the most effective way to get her around. But I don't know. I can't backflip. Let me know if you can backflip in the comments below. So then the building explodes, and Catwoman, she escapes onto the roof, and Batman goes after her, because she just blew up the building. And then they start fighting. Not really sure why they fight. They never really explain why. Maybe it's just because she blew up the building, but she says one of the best lines ever written in a movie.
Life's a bitch, now so am I.
It's amazing. We see Catwoman meet up with Penguin after this, and they kind of formulate a plan to get revenge on Batman. So they frame him for kidnapping this lady right here. And as Batman's going to go save this lady, the Penguin's gang goes to like tamper with his car, and they kind of implant some sort of device on there because he is the world's first Tesla. So as Batman's saving this lady, Catwoman shows up again, and they have like a brief fight, and Batman tells her to eat floor. It's pretty funny.
Eat floor. High fiber.
Stuff goes bad, and they wind up killing the lady, and they blame Batman for it, and he just escapes on his glider like a total badass. But then the Batman, he gets into the Batmobile, and Penguin immediately takes it over with the device that his gang has installed, and he starts rampaging all over it. But luckily, he has, computers in there, so he sees the device, he removes it, and he manages to regain control over it. So after they frame Batman, Penguin's kind of flirting with Catwoman, and, he wants to be her boyfriend, but she kind of turns him down. So Penguin tries to kill her, and it's pretty brutal stuff. Penguin is now addressing the news, and Batman uses his secret bat technology, and he hijacks his microphone signal, and he plays a recording that he recorded during the rampage of the Batmobile. The people immediately turn on the Penguin and start, I guess they all have fruits and vegetables, and they start pummeling him with it. It's pretty funny. But he busts out like a minigun in his umbrella and just starts blasting the crowd. He attempts to escape, and the police chase him. They're full-on GTA cops, so they just shoot at him indiscriminately, and he returns to the sewers where his super cute penguins are, and he begins his plan B, where he's going to kidnap all of the firstborn sons of Gotham.
I am an animal! I am not a human being!
Then we see Bruce attending a party held by Max, and he's attending because Selina Kyle is there, and they're kind of having their moments. Get a loud ass explosion. Penguin shows up and he's like, yeah, I kidnapped all the firstborn sons of Gotham and none of you are gonna stop me.
For your children!
And then he takes Max hostage. Not really sure why, but he takes him hostage. Batman saves all the babies as they're being kidnapped by his goons, and he sends the little monkey from earlier to go deliver a message to the Penguin and let him know that his plan has been foiled. So the Penguin has to execute an alternate plan at this point, so he decides he's going to destroy the entire city using his army of penguins. And Batman shows up in his super sick speeder boat, and he stops the Penguin's army by luring all of the penguins back to the sewer base using sonar. Penguin and him, they encounter each other, and at this point it's confrontation time. But Penguin realizes that he has a button that's controlling all of his penguins and kind of loses it. He grabs it, he takes it from Batman, and little does he know, when he hits the button, it also has it's also controlling bats, so the bats swarm him, and then he falls down like 100 stories below him into the sewer water. Really brutal stuff. So Batman goes down there and he's trying to save Max. He gets him out of the cage and stuff. Catwoman attacks at that point because she's trying to kill Max, and they kind of have like a brief standoff. But apparently Max had a gun the whole time. He just never used it on the Penguin or anything. So he shoots at Batman and he shoots at Catwoman. Of course, it does nothing because Batman is, as we've seen, impervious to bullets, and Catwoman has apparently 9 lives. So Catwoman walks over there, and she's taking bullets like a total G, and then she uses a taser to just brutally murder him. It's super brutal stuff. Penguin reemerges and he kind of dies in front of Bruce. It's really sad, but his own penguins kind of throw him back into the water. It's really weird. Then we get a scene of Alfred driving with Bruce back into Gotham, and they're going to celebrate Christmas finally, and we see that Catwoman is indeed still alive. She's had 9 lives, so I guess she didn't use them all. We see the bat signal appear back into the sky, and then Catwoman's looking up at it, and the movie kind of just ends. It's really good. Not really sure how Batman ever cleared his name for like kidnapping and murdering the model chick. They never explained that, but that's okay. That's okay. Don't come for me. This is just my opinion, but I actually liked this movie more than I liked the first Batman movie. Don't come for me. But is it worth watching? 100% yes, especially if you've never seen it. All the actors, Danny DeVito, Michael Keaton, Michelle Pfeiffer, you can tell they were really having fun with their roles and, really diving into the characters. The writing was really good. There was a lot of funny moments, and the pacing of the movie overall was really good. Despite some of the inconsistencies and plot holes, I would definitely give this movie a 10 out of 10 or watch it again. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and until next time, peace!